The Suikoden series has been around for 29 years, leading with 5 mainline titles and a couple of spin-offs. But just like every other JRPG out there in its time, they all share some main focus, whether it's about war, corruption, and some other mystical stuff that you throw in there. But every game is not always in its chronological order, so players could play them in any order, like games similar to the Mana series, Final Fantasy, Star Ocean, all of those guys. But Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is now the latest installment in the Suikoden lineup, and was developed by Rabbit and Bear Studios with the help of 505 Games, with the main man himself in charge, Yoshitaka Murayama, whom is the overall creator of the Suikoden series and as such has already claimed it to be a spiritual successor to the Suikoden series. Now, Eiyuden Chronicles took a lot of work to finally get greenlit for release, with heavy hype and support surrounding the game thanks to the overall crowdfunding through Kickstarter. The campaign raised enough money to be able to finally support the release, and after many delays, the game was finally able to release this year. Today's featured episode will be my first impressions look at this already amazing JRPG series, but I'll be going over the main features players will come across during their time playing and to see if this JRPG is worth your time to get into. Right off the bat, I need to talk about the visuals, cause my god, these visuals look absolutely beautiful. I've really been loving the way classic JRPGs have been looking so far with this new engine of 2.5D visuals. Basically utilizing 2D sprites to explore in 3D environments. Each town, each village, and even the dungeons we come across all look so amazing. I can literally stare at this game for hours on end due to how good the game looks no matter the area you're in. The 2.5D has been a good way to really showcase some of the amazing artwork and illustration that Eiyuden has to offer. While exploring the game, you will notice that the cinematography while maneuvering in the background is, chef's kiss. The UI is also very clean and simplistic and not overly cluttered where it will make it even harder to navigate. The game does a great job at displaying information in a cleaner manner. Even in the world map when you're traveling between towns, it just overall looks amazing. No clutter on screen, it just looks nice and neat, and it helps my OCD a bit. But the game has great visuals and something that could be played for years and years. It's gonna have that timeless feel. But what really makes this game shine and overall come to life is the soundtrack and voice acting. During fights and travels, the OST fits the mood for each location, and the music team did a great job at bringing peaceful melodies to traveling in the forest and epic battle music during your boss fights. What also helps this game come to life is the voice acting in itself, and for the whopping roster that this game has, which is very known to the Suikoden series, you can be able to play with up to 100 plus characters that are in this game. Along with those 100 characters come with each one of them being voice acted, which honestly it is amazing, and they really soared and excelled. At the very beginning, I actually fell in love with Gar's voice. He sounds so goddamn cool, and I love that raspiness to his voice, and each other character is very different. And as you meet new characters along your travels, you'll see that each character has their very own personality and backstories that honestly the voice actors did a great job trying to flesh those stories out through the emotions with each character. They're a very whopping bunch, and overall I love the dynamic that each character have with each other, and it just meshes well in my opinion. Besides all the pretty stuff and cool things to look at about Eiyuden, I feel it also shines greatly during its overall gameplay loop. Eiyuden Chronicles is a turn-based strategy JRPG. Just like you would see in many other turn-based games, the combat is fairly simple to grasp. You have your basic attacks the party can do, Each member also has these things called runes lens that allows them to cast special skills, whether it would utilize your mana pool or your SP. Your party team formation is also made in a tactical manner, so you can position your team with 3 in front, 3 in rear, with a support character supporting the entire team. Now, of course, placements of your recruits will actually help out, because in each recruit has a specific specialty, whether they're a long range, mid range, or a short range fighter, and that would dictate how you will place them in for battle. With the multiple amount of characters you will recruit, though, you can easily build a team that fits the needs of your adventures. Just like in any JRPG, during your travels, you will come across random encounters. Yes, they are in the game. I know some people don't like them, but hey, it's that nostalgic feel. That is something that most of us as kids growing up are very used to this. Which now brings me to the combat portion of the game. During combat, like I said earlier, you have your very simple attacks. There's also an auto feature as well if you want to grind mobs without needing to play. I feel like this is a great mechanic for AFK farming in a way, basically modernizing AFK farming in a way, but definitely not good to utilize for actual boss battles, due to each boss battle having some form of a gimmick, which are specific events that happen when you must take advantage of in order to win. I do personally find it ease of use for newer people who are just getting into JRPGs, since most classic and even some of the more modern JRPGs would need players to kind of figure out the boss's weaknesses during the fight by following telltale signs of weakness or any background knowledge of the boss using context clues of such. Depending on your character's relationship with each other, you can also utilize hero combos, which are essentially the team's ultimate in a sense, and it basically deals crazy amounts of damage with awesome animations to suit with it. Now, for other mechanics in gameplay to take note, there are a couple of things that do make a comeback in Eiyuden from the Suikoden series, which is duels, or a 1v1 mode essentially, and as well as strategic war battles. Now, duel mode has been around for, like I said, majority of the Suikoden games, and it's where you do a legit 1v1 with whomever that you are coming across storyline wise. But it's an emotional one due to me not actually wanting to fight the character. You obtain this duel right after your very first war battle, which is essentially our army versus the enemy's army, and it's played as a tactical strategy game where we place our units down to go to specific areas on a grid to push the enemy back. You watch a little war scene play out, and then whoever was won that encounter was able to advance. Now, once you also obtain your very own castle or your hub base of operations, which basically allows you to customize your very own city to your own. This allows you to have all your recruits come here. You can, of course, build it up. It has its own progression path to help build it and make it become more manageable and much better overall for your overall stay. You get all your shops and you're just building your own city. Now, let's also tackle the story and the world around Eiyuden Chronicles. And this story basically follows Noah, our protagonist, a young recruit and a local army. His world gets turned completely on its head in a full 180 when he is tasked with cooperating with the Empire Special Forces team led by a very talented soldier named Sane, which during my time in these past 8 hours, I grew to like him very well. Despite that their initial differences, Noah and Sane form, a very unlikely bond despite coming from opposing forces. And throughout the prologue of the game, this story is practically a tale of corruption with your classic good versus evil and a focus on world building and character developments. Each character we recruit, we get to dive into each of their backstories. That will help aid the ongoing world building that is seen throughout the game, with each character being affected by the war in some manner. The game does its best to overall weave together the personal stories of Noah, being a young, idealistic soldier from a small village. He's somebody who is kind-hearted. He's very eager to prove himself. You learn that about him right away, but he also is a bit naive. Then there's somebody like Sane being the other side of that coin, being a brilliant tactician, leader of the Empire Special Forces, and initially he comes off as somebody who is very arrogant or very aloof. He gradually does warm up to Noah and the others, and other characters like Gar, who is also a seasoned veteran and somebody who is Noah's mentor throughout the game, providing wisdom and support. And then there's Leanne, who is a great martial artist, and she brings a cheer and upbeat joy to the group and many others alongside them. All of this while exploring the political tensions between the League of Nations that we are part of and the Gaudian Empire. One thing you will note throughout your time playing this, that each character brings their very own strengths, weaknesses, and overall personalities to the table, contributing to the game's rich interactions and relationships that you will come across. But my overall impression of the game is honestly a great one. I am currently 8 hours into the game so far, and I've been enjoying my time playing. After going through the main story beats through these 8 hours and seeing some of what the game can offer, I can happily recommend this game to anyone who is wanting a fun, engaging JRPG to play this year. Being the spiritual successor to the Suikoden series, I feel it definitely does live up to that reputation, and with Yoshitaka behind the mantle for this game, he really did deliver for us JRPG fans and made it easy for newcomers to jump right into it. Each boss battle is nice and lengthy. I love the gimmicks and strategy in place for each major battle, definitely feeling rewarding after beating each boss. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes has jumped to one of my favorite JRPGs to release this year, and I personally cannot wait to beat this game. And I want you guys to let me know what you think of Eiyuden Chronicles if you already are playing it. It is currently free on the PC Game Pass, and if you want to own it yourself, you can hop around on Steam or a Nintendo Switch and cop it for $50. But for all of you who are fans of JRPGs or classic games, what classic game would you like to bring to get modern graphics and gameplay? Let me know in the comment section below. But other than that, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more RPG content, and if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to like the video. Other than that, stay safe out there, and it's been your host, KSDTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.